Look, I think Moses and David have played a lot of cricket together, and I think partly that's trying to give some more scope to who David is, and I think he ends it with he is a team man, and that's my experience with David. That's what I've seen, and the MOU was probably a part of that, saying, well, it's a revenue share model. We've had this for 20 years. It's good enough for Steve Waugh, Ricky Ponting, these guys that have come before me. Then it's good enough for us going forward. Look, I still think they've got the right to be able to ply their trade and do what they do. They've accepted a big sanction with lots of strings attached around that. They've taken a significant hit financially, and as I said, you've only got a small window for your career. So, look, I think they've accepted what they've been given, but in that there was the ability to potentially play in different areas, and so that's something that, if they want to do that, they can look into. Well, I think that's why they've said they're going to undertake culture reviews. There's one sort of around the dressing room, if you like, and then my understanding there's one more broadly around the organisation. And look, culture starts at the top, and I think those reviews, that scope needs to be wide enough to be able to look at the whole system from the top down and work through, were there behaviours or patterns of behaviours that have come through the broader organisation, whether it's sort of bled into the dressing room or in other areas, whether it's media rights negotiations or whatever it is that what we want for that sport, and are they the behaviours that are coming through? So actually calling review, and as long as it's transparent and independent, will be important to, I suppose, either resetting or assessing that. But I do think by saying there's going to be a review, I think the review needs to be of everything. So if the review is just handed up to the board, then I don't know whether that necessarily gets through everything, because culture starts at the top. I think there's the individuals, and then also from the team point of view, how the team rebuilds, leadership, new coach. There's a considerable challenge, because we do like our cricket teams winning, but it's very hard, and especially hard playing overseas as well. The media rights is probably a longer term concern, because it is in a state of flux. We're probably 6 months away from the international season, male season starting, and from following press reports, it does seem that there is some upset parties around the broadcast stage. So I think hopefully this week they are trying to work through those and actually get a deal and get some stability around the sport for the next 5 or 6 years. That left me personally very concerned, yeah. That's something that it's interesting looking at the high standards we hold our players to, and then this has come through to someone that potentially is going to fund the sport the next 5 or 6 years. So that was concerning, and it does show that pressure and these accountability to these things is something that we do need to follow up as a player group if the players are going to be held accountable, and hopefully it hasn't damaged any of the negotiations.